Welcome to Career and Corporate Hub. Today's interview is in the field of commerce in chartered accounting. I am sitting with a CA. Nhlamulo, welcome to Career and Corporate Hub.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Without wasting any time, I'm not going to say much about what chartered accounting is about. I'm going to leave it to you to tell us what chartered accounting is about. But before we get into that, I would like to know about your background, basically where you started with your primary and your upbringing as well.
Okay. So I grew up in a small town in Limpopo called Phalaborwa. So it's a mining town. So most people who stay there basically work at the mine.
Yeah.
I grew up there with my three brothers. Primary school, moved around primary schools because due to my dad, changing jobs.
Okay.
I started off in Kingfisher and then I moved over to Phalaborwa Primary.
How's Kingfisher? Is it like a private school or?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a private school.
Okay.
And then from there, I did my high school in the same area.
In Phalaborwa?
Yes. France du Toit.
Okay.
And then we moved to another small town in Limpopo.
That's like the fourth, you're moving like for the fourth, to a fourth school.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. So from Phalaborwa, we moved to Zenin. So in Zenin, I was now at the age of 15.
Okay.
So I was doing high school at that time. And I went to Ben Foster High.
Okay.
Yes. I did my matric at Ben Foster High.
Okay. And I'm like thinking of the moving from high school when you're 15 to go to another high school. How was it like?
It was not
like
nice,
to adapt,
and the thing is, you're at that very fragile point in your life.
Yes.
There's puberty going on.
Yes.
Changes are happening physically and emotionally. So going into a new school on top of that, it was a bit of a transition for me. And also, you know how by that time, everybody has their own friend that they are accustomed to.
Yes.
It's either someone you grew up with or it's either someone you've been
friends from primary.
Exactly.
And then you started high school.
And then there's this new girl in grade 10. I was just there
Also, you moved from what was the other high school? The high school in Phalaborwa.
France du Toit to Ben Foster High.
To grade 10?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And grade 10 you have to choose
subjects
yes,
as well. That's right. Because when I was in France du Toit, I did my grade 8 and grade 9 in France du Toit.
Yeah.
And then I moved to do grade 10.
And when you were doing grade 10, which subjects were your major? What did you major in?
So just before we get there, just to take you back a bit, when you're in grade 9, we're doing all these different subjects.
Yes, yes.
And you have to choose now which subjects you want to do. And I wasn't particularly sure of which career path I wanted to choose.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And that goes for everyone. I personally do not believe at the age of 14, 15. Well, there are some rare cases where people know by that time, I want to be a doctor or I want to be a lawyer, right? But the majority of us, we're not 100% sure where we fit in, what subjects we wanted to do. So what I did to ensure that at the time when I actually have an idea of what subjects I want to do, I did a mix of subjects.
In grade 9?
Yes. No, when you're choosing subjects.
Oh, okay.
You choose them
that
at the
option.
end of years. Okay. So my subjects was physical science. I had life sciences, mathematics, and accounting.
Okay. Yeah.
So I had a mix. So I had some subjects from commerce and some subjects from the science field. Because I was not sure which direction
you would like
I want to go.
But I think this is why doing these interviews, because I feel like we don't have too much exposure in terms of what career we would like to pursue after matric, because we don't know anything about what is happening outside of matric.
That's true.
And also like your social status also influences like the career that you follow. It's not necessarily what you would like to be or what you are passionate about. When I was interviewing different people, they were talking about, not different people, like kids from high school, and the ones that are doing matric, like what are you going to study? It was always medicine and engineering or law, like the very common careers. And engineering, they were talking about mechanical, electrical, and civil. And for me, the kids need that exposure. So I feel like in grade 9, they need there has to be some sort of a course that takes them through like which subjects to take. Like if you take science, what are you gonna use science for? And then if you take commerce, what is commerce going to help you with? What do you think?
I think, the education system needs to see that as it's very important. Some form of aptitude tests.
Yeah.
That's what it's called, actually, what you're referring to.
I hate tests.
So an aptitude test, as much as it boxes you, it can be correct.
It can.
Because it highlights where your strengths and your weaknesses are. So if it highlights that, look, you are an analytical person, then you should follow the types of careers that cater for someone who's analytical is in this direction. Like, for instance, your engineering,
that is actually true.
Your accountings, your economics. If you're someone who's more creative, then that's the type of courses or careers that are in the creative space. This is what it is. If you're a social person, then you should maybe look into doing psychology and so forth. That is true.
Yes. And for me, I remember from high school, I always wanted to be in the media. Like, I remember telling my parents.
That's why we have a YouTube channel.
Exactly. That's how you can see, like, this girl, this is where she is. I'm sure you're like, what is she doing in engineering? Yeah. And, when I was in matric, I was looking for, like opportunities in acting. Before matric, I was looking for like presenting and stuff. But in Venda, you are far from a whole lot of things. And also like my background with my parents. They don't know anything.
What? You want to do what?
Exactly. They were like, no, first study something else and then it will be your backup plan. And once you have a backup plan,
you're good to go.
I know. I feel like once you have a backup plan, like you are setting up yourself for failure. Because now that backup plan becomes your
comfort zone.
Your comfort zone. Yeah. So when you were in high school, did you know that you wanted to do chartered accounting?
I didn't actually.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it existed until there was a career day in school.
Yeah.
And there were different, how career days are. They bring people in different fields.
Okay.
Also, certain universities also come through. And there was this one guy, he was almost a CA at the time. He was on the journey of becoming a CA. Yeah. And he spoke about it and I'm like, oh, this is interesting. Like, it's different from everything else that you hear. You always hear about, okay, there's a doctor. Okay, there's engineering. There's law. You want to do law, study law.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not really interested. I don't like blood. I don't like, dealing with that. Engineering. I was like,
don't tell me you thought of like fixing things. No. Because that's what people think engineering is about.
No, engineering for me, I associated it with science and I didn't like science. Okay. And then law, I was like, all those heavy books that they carry when they go to court. Yes. So it was refreshing to hear something different.
But you see, you were fortunate enough because you guys had a career day where people came to your school. Like in the rural areas, we never had that. We only did career, I forgot what it's called, where we traveled to Pretoria and you literally have like few hours to ask questions, and also you're not interested in like asking what you want to study, interested in exploring like, oh, I'm
we're going to Victoria.
Exactly.
It's like it was more of like a road trip. Yeah.
And so what is chartered accounting? So what is chartered accounting?
Okay, so I'll explain it in this way. Chartered accountancy is the profession within finance.
Okay.
So there's different professions within the realm of finance. You have chartered accountants like myself. You can have finance analysts.
Okay.
There's different forms of positions that you can take up within the finance space. But the general one, or the one that is common within South Africa, is chartered accountant, also known as CA. Okay.
Yes. And is it like chartered accounting, the like in at the top? But by at the top, I mean like most paid people in accounting. Because I mean, we all know like what people like go on and on about. Oh, I want to be a CA. There's like few CAs in South Africa and stuff. Yeah.
I hope people don't come for me, but yes. Yes. CA is at the top of the rank. Yes, it is.
Okay. And what is required? Okay, maybe before we get to that, where did you study?
Okay, so I
did undergraduate.
I did my degree at the University of Witwatersrand at Wits.
Okay.
And I also did my honors degree, which is known as CTA.
Okay.
Yes, at Wits as well.
So, in order for you to become a chartered accountant, you need the honors as well.
Yes, you do need it. So, let me explain. It's a 7-year journey, just like doctors.
Okay.
It's 7 years. So, your first 4 years of the 7-year journey, you are studying. You're full-time in school. What I would like to add on that is make sure you choose a university that is accredited with SAICA. So SAICA is the professional body for chartered accountants. SAICA stands for South African Institute of Chartered Accountants. Yeah. So SAICA will give you a list of, these are the list of universities that you can go and study to become a chartered accountant. Okay. So that is very important, that you don't find yourself doing your degree and your honors in a university that is not accredited, because there were cases like that in the past, but now majority of our universities in South Africa are accredited with South Africa. So I went to Wits,
which is obviously accredited. Yeah.
Yes, it is accredited, and I was fortunate enough that I studied through the Tutuka bursary.
Yes, I was about to ask that. Did you have a bursary? Because that's another thing that most grade 12 learners don't know about. When I was asking most of them, they were like, "No, we've applied for NSFAS." I'm like, that's not going to help you much because you have to pay it back at the end of the day.
That's true.
Yeah.
So Tutuka Bursary Fund is a bursary fund dedicated for Black empowerment, for Black children rather, let me say, that want to pursue the CA career. Okay. So it only caters for
only that,
for children that want to become chartered accountants.
Yeah.
And they are all over the universities.
I'll also put the link in the description box, so that if you would like to study chartered accounting, then you have the details on there for the bursary. Yes. And actually forgot. So in high school, you did accounting as your major.
It was one of them. So I had accounting, science, life sciences, and math.
So you did all of that throughout?
Yes.
Okay. One of the bright ones.
At some point, I wanted to drop out from physical sciences. Yeah. Because at that point, I had now made up my mind that, you know what, I want to become a CA. I don't need physical sciences. Yeah. But then it was too late for me to transition to the other commerce subjects that are there in high school, like economics and business studies. So I just carried on with physical science until the end.
Even though, but I mean, in terms of thinking, I'm sure it helps as well. Because
it's like I said, if you're someone who's analytical and who's like problem solving,
then you need that.
Yes.
Yeah. And so how were your studies in university? Did you have like a lot of black females? Like what was the domination in the faculty of accounting?
So before we get to genders, in terms of race as well, so it's predominantly still white people.
Okay.
Black people are still a minority.
Yeah, we need more black people. Hey,
we need more
can make it.
It's possible. Predominantly, there's still like white people, and black people are still the minority. So obviously, with that demographics, then you can imagine the black females at the bottom of the barrel.
I'm sure, because we're still scared of doing like this courses that are deemed to be very hard. Okay, so but how were the studies? Were they difficult? So how was it like?
Yes, I mean, there's something my mom always says, like anything in life that is easy come, easy go.
Oh.
So anything that you work hard for, the value at the end of it, you're going to see the returns. So yes, it's challenging.
Okay.
Especially in the final year.
Yeah.
It is a challenging course.
Challenging does not mean that you cannot do it.
Thank you. It's possible. You just need to persevere and be dedicated and understand the end goal. Like, what are you trying to achieve out of this? Okay, I'm at this point. I'm struggling. I feel like giving up. But what if I give up? Then what?
True.
You need to have an end goal and tell yourself, okay, my vision is to become a CA and I want to make it and my life will prosper.
Like, I mean, for me, I always look at it as Nhlamulo did it. Why can't I? Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So that is also one of the reasons why I'm doing these interviews with a lot of black females as well, because most females feel like they can't do it. Like they feel like they don't have the capacity.
And we all have the capacity.
Or they're not capable. So,
we definitely all can do it. It's just all in the mind.
True.
Yeah.
And what is the prerequisite for to get into varsity for accounting?
In terms of the subjects that you need to do accounting, it's just maths and science. I mean, maths and English.
Okay.
Sorry.
I was about to say science, okay.
It's because I'm thinking of science now in my head.
Oh, let's take science out.
So the prerequisite is you need to have English and mathematics.
So you don't
necessarily need accounting to do it. I had friends who actually studied science in high school, had no sight of accounting ever in their lives, and are now CAs.
There's a stigma that if you're in high school and you are studying maths and science, like you are very smart. And the kids that are studying accounting, they're not smart. So I think it's also like the way they, like matric results, they go on and on and on so much about science. I think now that creates like this, I don't know if I'm just saying like a bad stigma.
Yeah.
But science.
It doesn't create awareness for anything else.
It doesn't. It doesn't. Okay, I see.
But what I would say is it is advantageous to have accounting.
Okay, yeah, because that's what you're going to be focusing on.
Yes, and also you have the background of it, because a lot of students, especially in the first year of the degree, that didn't have accounting in high school, struggled. So having that knowledge from matric it takes you one step ahead of the
I'm actually smiling because for my postgrad I was struggling with accounting. because it was my first time doing accounting.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I don't like this. So, yes, it would be advantageous for somebody that has done accounting in high school. And how's your day like as a CA? Like from morning to end of business?
Okay. Everyone's day is different. Some people are morning people. Some people are not.
I am.
Right? So I'm the type of I'm an early bird.
Okay.
So I wake up quite early in the day. I like to start my day early because I feel like it prepares me for anything that happens.
Do you have like a morning routine? Like for example, I'm a 5 a.m. club girl. So 5 a.m. and then I wake up and do yoga. Yeah. So it like prepares my mind for it. Yeah.
Okay. No, I do. Before my baby, I used to
She's
wake
a
up.
mom now, a new mom.
Hey, tricky la.
Yes. After she became a CA, so
yeah, first studies first. You know that saying, books before babies because babies. I mean, books before boys because boys bring babies. So
that's a nice one.
Yeah, books first before the boys. I would wake up and go to the gym.
Okay.
And then from the gym, I would go to the office. And most of the time, I was the first or second person in the office because I just like to start my day with no one there in the office and get your things done. And then we just hit the ground running. And yeah, basically that's how my day starts.
Yeah. And
then throughout the day, basically we're just doing the work.
What do you do as a CA? Are you balancing shits? What are you doing?
So there's different day-to-day tasks that come about. Basically, when you're a CA,
working in corporate,
you are the custodian of the company's finances.
Okay.
In summary.
So that's a nice one. I want to know how much the company makes. Yeah.
You know, we basically deal with the cash flow of the company. How is the company's cash flow doing? Are we doing well? Okay, if we're doing well, let's continue riding on that. If something is not going well, if the cash flow looks a bit low, what do we need to do to curb that?
Yeah.
We also deal with debtors management. We deal with the profitability of
what
the
type
company.
of data? Like, is it when you say data's management?
So what I mean by that is if the company has customers that they sell their product to on credit, we need to manage those customers that need to pay the company back. Okay. So depending on their payment terms, if it's 30 days, 60 days, whatever, are they paying on time? Yes or no? If they're not paying on time, we need to understand why they're not obliging to their payment terms. Okay. Yes. So it's those types of conversations that we need to have with the operational teams. Like, okay, look, you sold, let me make an example. You sell a machine to a company. And then me as the financial manager, I'll be like, okay, Kodani, you sold that machine to them. They said they'll pay it back in 30 days. 30 days has passed. Why haven't they not paid us our money back? Is there something wrong? Do we need to interact with them, engage with them, understand what's going on? Okay. So that's why I'm saying that chartered accountants are the custodians of the company's finance.
Okay. Yeah, I see. And from your studies to what you do at work on a day-to-day basis, is it what you expected? Is there like a big difference?
Not necessarily a big difference. It just becomes more practical.
Really? Because I love accounting now. Wow.
A lot of the things that we learned theoretically, we actually now do it practically. The only interesting thing for me, which I enjoyed, was that everything that we did in varsity was very manual. Like now,
yeah,
in the world that we're in with the fourth industrial revolution, a lot of things is system driven. Softwares, everything that you do,
you just punch the number and then it generates.
Exactly, it generates it for you, and you just need to analyze it, understand when that number comes out as 2, what does it mean that it's 2? If it comes out as 1,000 or negative 1,000, you need to understand what happened behind the number. So I'll say it again, we are the custodians of the company's finances. We're basically explaining or making everyone understand that, look, okay, today we made 2 rand. Why did we make 2 rand? Or we lost 2 rand. Why did we lose 2 rand? And that will also dictate the business strategy of the company as to in which direction.
Which is nice because, I mean, for like, I studied mechanical engineering, and then when I went to do my internship, it was completely different. I felt like I learned more about like how to think, like how to strategize, and then what I learned I was going to apply in like at a workplace. And then they always say that corporate is toxic. How is it for you?
It's what you make it. There are environments that are toxic, there are environments that are not toxic. So if you identify that the environment that you're in is toxic, then you need to ask yourself, how do I deal with this?
With the with that
toxicity. And you need to also identify where is that toxic energy coming from. Is it you who's creating it? It could be you and you're not aware. Or is it maybe from people that you're working with? And if you get to a point where you aren't able to deal with it, then remove yourself from that situation.
That is very true, because I mean, I always say, if you work with people and then you're complaining about people all the time, then you're not in the right place, because that is your job. And then you say the environment is toxic, but no, the environment is just for you to work with people. And then to become a CA, do you have to have like a certain trait of personality?
Perseverance.
Okay.
Perseverance. That is the most important one that you can have. Perseverance, because from perseverance comes determination, comes hardworking, it comes diligence. Time management comes from that.
I think time management is very important. Like when you were studying in high school, were you like last 2 minutes, the when you've got an exam, did you study the night before, or how were you studying? And how would you advise like somebody that is in high school?
I mean, I was not proactive most times, but then you realize that I can't cover everything the night before. So obviously you have to plan ahead that I'm writing a test, let's say for instance in 2 weeks time. Then you know that I need to start preparing now to ensure that you cover all the content, and that's very important. And I just also want to highlight, because we mentioned that the CA journey is 7 years, right? And we only covered the 4 of the 7-year journey. Yes. Which is when you study your degree and you get your honors degree. So then the other 3 years is what is called articles, CA articles. Yes. Which is a traineeship, or
so you need to be like at a specific company in order for you to do articles. I've heard about articles. What is this articles about?
So basically in that 3 year of articles, it's another leg or another phase within the CA journey where you are gearing yourself up to become a chartered accountant. And once again, with that, you also need to do your articles at a company that is accredited to become a training office.
So you must always verify. I think I know the company that I work for, they always write like when they're advertising for I don't know if it's internship for CAs, they always write that, and then that you will have a 3-year for articles and so I think it's always important that you verify if the company is accredited for to qualify you to become a CA.
That's correct. And like, you know, the general ones that everyone knows of is the Big 4 audit firms.
Okay.
But there's also other,
and I don't work for an audit firm, but I know it's an automotive, but it's a big automotive company, so they do that.
And not everyone who's a CA comes from an audit firm, guys. Let me just put that
and
out
that's
there.
what I think that's what we all think it's about.
And that's also like I always call myself an outlier in life because I've always been an outlier. I did not like audit at all.
So you didn't follow like.
So it's also one thing I would advise, like once you get to university, explore, because there's something called vacation work. So when varsity is on school holiday, you can do vacation work at an audit firm. See if you like it. If you don't like it, then you already get a taste of it. It's like, you know what? This is not for me. That is what I did. I did vac work at an audit firm. One of the Big 4 audit firms. I was like,
what are the Big 4? I don't know.
So the Big 4, we have KPMG, PwC, Deloitte, and Ernst & Young.
Oh, okay. There you go. You have it.
So those are the Big 4 audit firms. Yes. I did my articles at a non-audit firm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you did your vacation work at an audit firm.
Yeah, okay. I did. And I realized, you know what, for me, my articles, I don't want to do that in an audit firm. I don't like this. Everyone has their own thing that they like. And I personally felt like this is not for me. So you can do your articles at a bank. You can do your articles at a company. Like you mentioned, you can even do that at an automotive company. Yeah. It just basically depends on researching and finding out where you can do it.
I think research is like the biggest issue in I don't want to say just in the rural areas because I'm not sure of the other places, but it seems like a lot of people are not well researched.
Exposure.
Like, yes. So how would you advise, they do research?
I mean, ask, like, don't be afraid to ask.
Yes.
If you don't know something, ask someone, ask your friend. Maybe your friend knows someone who can assist, because there's always someone who can help. We have the internet now. That's also another platform that can be used, but that's also a challenge also in the rural areas. So I really think asking.
Yeah, we'll also put your email address in the description box, and her social media account so that you can DM her, email her as well if you've got a question.
Yes.
So it's always important that you get a mentor, because a mentor will put you into the right direction, but you can't do it by yourself. So it's always advisable to have a community around you. Do not be a solo rider, because you're not going to go anywhere.
Yes.
So what piece of advice would you give to somebody that is still in high school or primary who would like to become a CA, or who does not even know what a CA is about? And, because we want more ladies into the into like organizations, like starting a business or working for a corporate. Like, what would you advise them?
My advice would be, firstly, know yourself.
That is very important. I like that.
Firstly, know yourself. Know what you want in life.
Yeah.
Because I can't help you if you don't know where. I can't say go to the left. If actually you don't want to go to the left, you want to go to the right. So set the path for yourself. Once you've identified this is the path I want, surround yourself with people who have walked that path. And that will help you. So it's very important to know who you are and what you want in life. And then you will be able to pursue that. Yes. And like I said before, ask, ask.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
it's more like knowing your purpose.
exactly.
Yeah. Have you read The Monk Sold His Ferrari?
No.
It's a good book. It's more on personal growth.
Okay.
Like that you must first know yourself and like before you do anything else. So I do agree it's very important. Yeah. And so, Nhlamulo, you are currently working in a corporate environment, or are you working for a corporate company?
Yes, I am. I'm working for a company.
Yes. So, Nhlamulo, you are currently working for a company, someone's company, a corporate, corporate. Would you like to stay in corporate, or would you one day like to start your own business? Or maybe you've got a business running.
So once again, it goes back to the type of person you are. That's why I said in my advice, I said, know yourself.
Yes.
In my journey thus far, I have come to understand that I do not want to be in corporate any longer.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with corporate.
I was about to ask why.
Some people love corporate.
It's true.
They work their entire lives in corporate and they're happy.
They're comfortable because they deem it as it's like stability. Even
if it's not a thing about stability, they actually enjoy it.
Okay.
They actually just enjoy doing it. But for me, I want to plow back, if I can put it that. So my company, it's called Your Private Accountants. We basically we focused on like small and medium-sized companies.
That's actually a nice one, because I mean, a lot of Black people want to start a company, but they don't know to like handle their finances. I think finances are just the biggest issue in the
community. Not, guys. It's
no, but what I'm saying is like handling our finances.
Yes.
This is like very big because, for an example, when somebody starts working, just for an example, they'll go buy a big car, with their whole salary, but then they don't look at the affordability first.
Yes.
It's just, no, this is what I want. So I think, that's actually a good.
So, we assist people who actually want to start companies and for people who already have existing companies but just want, the stability of it.
I'll come to you. Definitely.
Please come. Yeah. You're more than welcome to come. Yeah. So corporate has its advantages because, what I am plowing back in my company comes from the knowledge and the training that I got in corporate. So guys, do not shy away from corporate. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with corporate. But if you come to a point in your life and you see that, okay, you know what, I want to pursue this, then you can change to that.
Okay. Yeah. And would you advise someone to start in corporate, then start their own business afterwards?
Yes.
Okay, for the knowledge, yeah.
Yes, I would definitely advise that.
Okay.
It's a good way to start.
Yeah, because you get to see how other people are running their businesses.
Yes.
Experience is very important. But another thing they say is corporate box you. Like you start, getting yourself into debt, and then now you can't out of it. Corporate. So it's always advisable that you go into corporate with the intention that at the end you want to start your own business, if that's where you would like to be one day.
Yes.
So is there a question that you feel like I could have asked that can help someone out there who would like to follow into your footsteps, and how would you have answered it?
There actually isn't any question. But that doesn't stop people from asking questions in the comment section below.
Very important.
So if anybody still has follow-up questions, I'm available to answer those questions. Yeah. Especially more detail of the CA journey, like which varsity do I choose? Where do I want to do my articles? Okay, because we also know that in articles there's qualifying exams that you write.
Yes.
So there's 2 qualifying exams that you have to write. So I'll definitely answer those questions.
Okay. So and also if you want more details on articles, like what is when she says articles, what is she referring to, then you can always comment in the comment section, and then we can chat further.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the interview. It was very, very lovely. I myself did not know much about chartered accounting, so I've learned a lot, and I hope that you also learned. And if you would like to study chartered accounting, then this interview is going to be helpful to you.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much for having me once again.
Yes. Bye bye.